And we're recording.
Awesome. And the sound sounds good?
Yeah, it sounded great.
Oh, you already did it.
Yeah, I already did it.
Cool. Well, welcome. We're just starting right off. Welcome to the Searchers podcast. We're starting back up. Like I said, we had the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
already.
we did those. They're in the can right now. We'll start releasing them shortly. I think next week.
How do you feel about
By the time you're hearing this, they're out.
Yeah, probably. Oh, for sure, right? I mean, I guess
better be.
mathematically they have to be.
You've already listened to this.
I feel great about it, actually, and I'm happy that we're getting it back going. I'm happy that we're doing more searchers-related stuff going into next year. I'm already tired of the thought, but I'm also excited to do it. So I know a lot of people have messed us doing stuff. I know a lot of people specifically have messed the podcast, so it'll be good.
Yeah. Talk about a lot of cool stuff, a lot of the stuff that we have going on.
Yeah.
The productions that we have going on.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was wanting to bring up to everybody, and of course, these dogs always wet.
I don't think that anybody but you can hear that.
Oh, really?
You know how this always goes. You're like, can you hear that?
Well,
and then like in the recordings.
That's why I thought the headphones would be good to leave off because I always listen to everything and I'm still not hyper aware.
No.
Yeah, so
Maybe
we're
it's
leaving
just
the
me.
headphones off this time.
Maybe
so
it's just me.
Good
And
luck
our
to
dogs
us.
are inside because it's 90 degrees and
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God,
It's
dude.
hot
It's
as hell
so
here.
hot in Georgia.
It's hot as hell in the South. And I just got back from the beach not long ago. And like that's a different type of heat because you got a breeze
At least
coming
you
off
have
the
like
ocean.
water in front of you too.
Yeah. Then you come back here and you're like, you're miserable and you want to just go.
Yeah, so
right
we went
back.
to Jekyll Island last weekend, and it stormed profusely, like about half the time that we were there.
Was it like southern storm so it
Dude.
didn't last long or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we rented a golf cart
Stop.
to get around. and it was and when I say get around, like we're taking probably like 5-mile drives and stuff, which is fine, except like it started like torrential downpour and we left George Bailey back at the RV and we came back and we were like, oh, we got to get back to the RV, right? Torrential downpour in a golf cart going down the road.
Oh
It's like
my
raining
God.
sideways.
People had to look at
We
us
were
like,
soaked.
what
There
are
were other
y'all
golf
doing?
carts.
There was, but it was still like, this is stupid.
So it took y'all, how long did it take you to end that?
Probably
downpour?
15 minutes? Yeah. Because the golf cart goes about like 25 miles an hour. Right?
So what all did y'all do? Anything fun?
Yeah, I mean, we went around, I don't know if anybody knows about the Jekyll Island area. Do you know about it?
Oh, yeah.
Millionaires
figured.
Club.
Yeah, it basically used to be like the vacation homes for like
The
all the
Vanderbilts,
like
the Goulds.
super rich people out there. Yeah. And so now you can go
Rockefellers.
and see their old like cottages and stuff like
They're
that.
cottages.
Yeah, cottages, but they're
They're
real, that's what
winter
they call
homes.
them at least.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of cool. Food was good. We did go to the beach once.
So Mandy, you want to tell everybody why y'all went there instead of somewhere else?
No.
I know this is a very touchy
This is
subject.
touchy. We were
Oh, yeah.
supposed to go to Missouri to see Hosier this weekend. I've been driving Josh crazy with 3 more days.
Every day, dude.
I
Every
was
day.
listening
She's
to
like
my
playing Hosier
playlist.
like 90% of the day.
And
I'm
one of
like,
I'm
our
going to memorize all the
nieces-
songs.
I'm like,
I
oh
already
my
have
God.
them memorized. It was just getting hyped up and excited. And then he caught a virus.
Yeah. Hosier,
so he
not
had
me.
to, no, we would have still gone. I would have left your ass home.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
To go see Hosier.
Dang.
I'm not going to tell those children we're not
That
going
is
to
true.
Hosier.
Yeah, you would have to have gone. Plus, I bought those tickets, so it's like, no,
Yeah,
you're going.
so he had to postpone until next month. So we were devastated. And so it was to curb the no Hosier depression.
So what if he gets sick again and he just cancels it?
He would
She's
never
gonna-
do that to us.
She's going to laser eye you, dude.
Because I have been wanting
Did I
to see him
jinx it?
live for a decade.
She's like, do not say this.
And he when he comes to America, he goes to like 4 places. And
Yeah,
that's
he
all.
doesn't-
He doesn't
he doesn't
do
do
like
a ton
a
of
U.S.
touring.
tour where he goes to every state. No,
It was weird because he
Missouri
was actually,
the closest,
there were 3 shows going on. He canceled 2 of them. And then he was supposed to be at Bonnaroo.
which is in Tennessee.
Which
And
is in
so Josh was
Tennessee.
like, I don't want to
They
take the
canceled
twins.
that whole festival due to weather.
Weather. Because we met somebody at the Monkey's Paw the week
that
before
was supposed
they
to
were
be going.
singing Hosier, and I was like, I'm seeing him Thursday, and they're like, we're seeing him Sunday.
Dude, I knew
None of
I
us.
had some buddies back in the day that went to Bonnaroo, and the only reason why they wanted to go was because of all the drugs.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So back when I played music and toured and stuff, we did a hefty amount of like bigger festivals like that, where you basically go and you stay the week or whatever, however long the festival is. And yeah, it's not like the best. I was lucky because I had like friends that were a lot more like Georgie's punching the couch, a lot more like popular than me in the scene, and so they had like their own hotel rooms and stuff. And meanwhile, like
Y'all had tents.
yeah, for
Or
real.
the van.
But like I would go and stay with them in their hotel.
Yeah, dude. Shoot.
Yeah,
We
So-
may live in the South and stuff, but
Dude,
it doesn't mean we want to stay
honestly,
in a tent.
yeah, like
No, I'm not.
I don't know who thinks this, or if you do think this, like the heat sucks down here, even for us, and we live in it every
I
day.
love
It
it.
is relentless, man.
I love
The
it.
humidity is just relentless. You walk
not that
outside,
bad.
and if you have glasses or anything,
It's not that bad.
they
No.
instantly fog up. It absolutely is that bad.
It's
You
horrible.
will
Well,
never hear me complain about the cold, or you'll never hear me complain about the heat because I complain so much about the cold. I complain about the cold all the time, so I will never complain about.
So I
being
think
hot.
I'm getting old because I used to I didn't mind the heat. Now I hate the heat and
Oh,
the
dude.
cold. I'm just an ornery.
No.
I just want to stay
Ornery.
inside.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be hypocritical. So I'm so mad when it snows or when it's super cold here, and I'm miserable.
Yeah,
that
like we're talking about
I'm
like
going to be sunshine.
we got quite a few of events that we'll eventually release more information on for everybody. And we're talking about like the different locations. We're trying to schedule them around the
Oh, yeah.
seasons and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
because it's just I don't want to be stuck in some of these locations because they don't have air conditioning or like some of them don't have power, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't want to be in there without.
No, we can mention what we're
Sure.
doing. So we got to be vague about it right now because it's in planning stages, but we're doing like a searchers tour,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
well, yeah, and we've never done that, so
And so we're going to be going all over the United States. We're going to try to hit spots that you guys have already or that you're close
Close
you
to,
live.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're trying to hit spots to accommodate everybody, and of course, we're not going to accommodate everybody. But
Of course not,
We're,
but-
we're trying.
this is definitely a better effort.
And some really badass places.
there's some
too.
really cool
So-
places. So can't wait to release the information. Shout out to Katie McVeigh for helping us set all of that stuff up.
Yep.
She's been taking on the mantle of doing that. And with our existing schedules, we knew it's tough, that Shane and I knew that we wouldn't be able to have the bandwidth to kind of book that stuff
Yeah,
ourselves.
not with the business and Beacon
Right.
and everything that we're doing. But what's cool is we're getting back to kind of the roots.
Yeah,
of
and I'm at,
what we're doing.
we knew we would eventually, right? Beacon obviously has consumed a lot of our time, still consumes a lot of our time, but it's starting to, it's still new, starting to grow some legs. And
Well, we're blessed.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
So we're coming up on a year now, and most businesses
yeah,
fail within that year.
Yeah, of course.
And we're in talks all the time and meetings to actually grow, which is a blessing. Not a lot of businesses
yeah,
can
absolutely. And I don't want to go into great detail, but for everybody that is a subscriber, and if you're not, go subscribe at streambeacontv.com. We have a lot. You're not going to be short of paranormal reality content. We talk to, if you can think about them, we've probably spoken to them about doing content, but it takes a little bit of time. So let us funnel it appropriately and we'll get it all out there. But yeah, I think at the end of this year, you're definitely going to see a couple of those projects. We got more projects that, have been brought to us that we want to entertain and stuff like that as well. So we're excited for it. You'll see a lot of familiar faces. You'll see a lot of faces that you've never seen before. And I think that's really good. We want to get into the, filming our own like original horror movie, which I think is going to be cool. So,
But you guys also want to make sure that, and just because he's saying that you're going to find and you're going to work with all these big names, we also still want to work with small creators
course.
because that's the foundation of Beacon.
yeah. So what we
Small
found
names,
is,
too.
we've been doing these polls and stuff. And what we found is that there was a lot of the names that were on TV were being mentioned in those things. And, we understand why. Some of those people.
You saw name paranormal celebrity for the first time at some point.
Yeah, of
and
course.
they were that small creator too.
Of course. And I
Beacon's still going to be bringing you small creators that are going to be your new favorites.
We'll handle that on our end.
Yeah.
Let's look at these people.
I'm just pointing out we're not going away from
absolutely
small
not.
creators, because that is why Beacon is different.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, you'll see a mixture of everybody, new faces that you haven't seen before. And we're going to get more into the podcasting area as well. So got our work cut out for us, but it all starts here with Searchers. All starts here with Searchers podcast, always has, right? And it just grows out of that. And
yeah. And we've said it before, but like the whole nature of TV and how TV is now is gone. It's not. This is why bringing the content so important to us, because everybody, what they're used to seeing is going away. Yeah. And at a very fast rate, and kind of an alarming rate, because if you think about some of the ones that you know and love, you've seen the show, and then it's gone. It's just disappeared, and nobody has really made announcements about it.
And they won't. You know, that's the thing. And it kind of shows you how important that stuff was to the networks, right? I mean, they're not even going to really answer any of the questions about any of it. They don't feel like they have to. So,
yeah. Sad.
Yep.
Sad. So I don't really like talking about politics or religion or anything too much.
Right.
I love it. Say more.
No, we're not going. We're not doing the politics shit. We're not. But I am going to touch on the religion thing just for a second, because I've been like doing weird. I've been going down a rabbit hole, which is weird, about prophecy. Right.
Yeah, I've noticed on your TikToks.
It's super weird though. Okay, so like, again, I don't classify myself as like super religious. Right. But like there's certain prophecies, even biblical prophecies, that are like to a T that has happened. Yeah. That Jesus of the Bible actually prophesied. Right. Yeah. What do y'all think? So I know this is a touchy thing, but what do y'all think about this? Because the more like, so I don't look at just the biblical context of it. Mm-hmm. Like I've been looking at like the skeptical historians, or historians that were not believers that documented these things and like witnessed it. What do y'all think?
Honestly, I find it to be pretty healthy that the people that I guess you would consider to be like non-believers, at least of like Christianity per se, they tend to be pretty they tend to be pretty hefty believers that a lot of the history is still true, right? A lot of the stuff there is a lot of stuff that took place. And, you know, my parents, they visited Jerusalem. I don't know. It's been many years now. But,
oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They went to Israel in 2018, 2019.
It was pretty eye-opening because you can visit these sites where these things took place, right? And it's less, you know, you could objectively read the Bible and be like, oh, this doesn't really feel like a history book, because it isn't, right? It's just a retelling of things that happen. However, when you go and take tours of these places, you could see, you can put the puzzle pieces together in your head and be like, oh, well, this is like, they brought me a rock back from where David fought Goliath. So David really did do that.
And your mom was baptized in the River Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, the video was amazing because she's just sobbing.
Story of David and Goliath, for instance. You know, growing up, you're taught that story, and they depict it in a way that suggests that David was a small, scrawny person, and Goliath was just bigger than big. And as you grow up, you come to realize, and you think about slingshot. So modern day slingshots are like, you know, rubber and a stick with a split in it. That is not what come on, man. That is not what the dude used. And so those sacks that are slings, I could imagine if you hit somebody with a rock with that thing, you're going to take them down, right? And that's the reality of that situation. So it makes it feel like maybe less of this like magical situation, but more of a factual situation that took place. And so David was obviously going to be smaller than Goliath. But the weapon that he had would do a lot more damage than what we gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Right. As a kid.
And
So.
it wasn't like a small little pebble or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
So my question too is, so what if a prophecy like was fulfilled? What does that say? Like if somebody made a prophecy that was verified.
Dude, I have a really hard time
They're
with
hard
that.
to interpret.
Yeah. I have a really hard time with prophecies. Not to say that they're not true, right?
So the Jewish temple one though, which is what I recently talked about like on TikTok. Which
Yes,
I hate saying I've made TikTok
talk
videos.
about that one for a minute. I did see it.
So
but
the Jewish
refresh
temple
me.
being destroyed, Jesus said it while he was still alive. He stood in front of the temple and was like, the temple will be destroyed and every stone will be dismantled and turned over, whatever.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing, of
Right.
course. Well, 40 years later, after he's gone, in 70 AD, Roman soldiers destroyed the temple, and they set the temple on fire, and the gold that they used to kind of put in between the stones melted. So they took every stone. They took every stone off to get to the gold, and and Jesus said it will never be rebuilt, right? Well, so Saddam Hussein tried to rebuild the temple. It hasn't happened. To this day, the stones, you can go to Jerusalem now, and the stones are still there at the exact spot. He prophesied it 40 years before. So a lot of people say, well, the Gospels were written after the prophecy.
Right.
So it could have been back. They think that it could have been that way.
Right.
But the level of the detail of the prophecy itself leans to the fact to the fact that it couldn't have happened. So
but that's recent history-ish though, like 40 years is not that long. So some old guy could have said, "Hey, Rome, guess what Jesus said when he was here?"
No,
was taken apart. You see, like it's not like
But he also
later.
said that the temple would not be rebuilt.
Right.
And to this day, they've tried to.
But not questioning Jesus, by the way.
No. But what I'm saying, let's say that his prophecy was, so it's one of the most, like, you can even look it up.
Yeah.
It's one of the most historically verifiable ones.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing the prophecy, but it goes into detail a little bit more.
Of course.
But my thing is if he said it and it's 100% verifiable and historically and skeptical and believer historians all agree, and then there's archaeological evidence, all of this stuff. What does that say about everything else he said? Do you discount that?
No.
And I'm not questioning Jesus either, or questioning, or I'm not saying that it's 100% true.
But it's got,
but it begs the question: if somebody prophesies like that, what do you say about everything else they said? And it just makes you wonder.
A piece of me does really think that like things will come to pass that are in line with all of the prophecies. There's a portion of me that believes that, but I don't think we'll know it till it happens, right? And then you'll come to the realization that, oh, well, these are actually pretty accurate depictions of what happened. The other part of me is like, take that story, for instance, playing devil's advocate. Was it because Jesus said it that it then became like it put everything on a path to happening? Maybe because and take like Saddam Hussein not being able to rebuild it, but he wanted to.
It was more than just him, by the way. Yeah.
But I'm quite sure there's a lot of people in that area that believe what Jesus said, right? And therefore they're going to fight against any narrative to have it rebuilt.
That's true too.
Does that make
sense?
sense?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, I would say, that
they manifest
validity,
it by
but
belief.
in that area, so, well, maybe on Israel's side, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's so strange. The more that I look at this stuff, And then even with the prophecies, some people will justify, like, even if I say that some of the things in the Bible,
right,
I think have validity.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of people still justify wrongdoing as,
Of course, man. Like,
at which I'm
that's the
not going to get
trouble.
into the political, but
That's the
I will
trouble I
say
have with
we
it.
cannot displace our humanity just because,
no,
or our empathy just because we believe that certain things may be true, even in the biblical sense.
Right.
And
Every president
that's going
we've
on.
had for not hundreds, but decades now has been the Antichrist based off some scripture. Obama, it was because he was Muslim, which it doesn't say.
Here's my
Donald Trump, it's because he wants to build a statue of himself in the Middle East.
The more I think about that stuff, though, is that
thing.
If you believe the Antichrist stuff to be real, it's not coming from the U.S. It's not going to be coming from the West.
Well, biblically, this person comes from the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly.
But my opinion is, if any of that is true, I don't think it's one person. I think it could be like, or a spirit of an Antichrist, where it is like a movement, where it's like it's everything is calculated against the teachings and everything of Christ.
Yeah, so that's the other part of it, is like it all could be
and the Middle
portrayed
East thing,
metaphorically, right?
They claim that
of course.
Obama's of Muslim descent. And so that must mean that he's the Antichrist, which is crazy.
Also not true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, and
they take what they assume the prophecy is, or they take their interpretation of it and run with it. It's confirmation bias.
Just for the record, Obama was from Hawaii. So just so everybody understands that.
No, he wasn't. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not getting into that.
Right.
That's stupid.
Well, like Donald Trump's miraculous ear healing was apparently a sign of the Antichrist too. Which
is not true. Yeah. I'm sorry to let people down, but it doesn't even if you believe.
It was like,
if you believe the Bible, then you have to believe all of it, right?
The scripture is like,
you can't pick and choose.
Death, injury,
right?
You cannot come back from, not an ear clipped or anything like that. It is like
the Bible even tells you, man, in Revelations, that most of the stuff that takes place in Revelations and all takes place in the East countries, and it specifies where those countries are. And it's, a lot of people are looking at this, as of right now, and as we're recording this stuff going on with Iran as a possible sign from Revelations, which could be true.
And Ezekiel and Zechariah, which is so that's what led me down the rabbit hole. It's like, okay, there's always, on the prophetic side, especially when it's biblical prophecy, they always talk about wars and rumors of war. So I was like, let me look into I'm curious just to see what was said, kind of with which of course we've been at war, like Israel's been at war with people forever.
Is it one of the signs of the second coming, peace in Israel? Or like the end of the world is peace in Israel?
That comes after
this,
war.
Yeah. So
that comes after like major conflict.
I always heard like there's never going to be peace in Israel. Like when you're a little scared kid who's like, we're all going to die.
So with the prophecy that I think you're talking about as well, there are names of countries that from back then that align with countries today.
Right. So Persia.
There's a real world situation, and it's a real world fear of going up against Iran as to why you wouldn't want to do it too, right? Like why you wouldn't want to go to war with them isn't because of Iran specifically. It's because of their relationships with China, Russia.
Yeah.
And those are the things that you have to worry about. North Korea.
So Ezekiel 38, it talks about Persia and all of that. Persia is modern day Iran, right? Then Magog, it was like the war of Gog and Magog.
Yeah.
Magog, a lot of historians and stuff, and a lot of people that research, they link that to Russia.
Right.
Well, Russia,
I think there's like
Russia is an ally
involved.
Russia is an ally of Iran.
Yeah, of course.
Libya, Turkey, all of these. So like the alliance map, like even if we look at it right now, it checks out big time, which is almost scary big time.
Yeah.
So, and again, like I made these videos, I was like, just go and read it. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying it could be a prophetic thing, but go read it for yourself and then look at the similarities,
right? And
then make your own judgment call. It's not something I'm saying that is 100% valid, but it is kind of strange looking at it the way it is.
So, if you do follow those prophecies too, what I've heard at least is that I don't know. The Bible speaks on Western civilization a bit, but eventually we essentially just disappear. like we don't become like part of any of that, right? So that's the only part that doesn't necessarily make sense. So like I don't know what US's involvement into the war will end up being, but to whatever degree, more of the revelations it has a lot more to do with what's going on in the East and with Israel specifically. And if you were to believe those, they will go to war and try to attack Israel. And eventually, like, Israel will not go down. That's what will happen.
It was God's chosen nation. And even if that is God's chosen nation, it doesn't mean that some of the things the nation does is right. Like there's
that's the thing,
like
right?
David in the Bible.
Yeah, of course.
Right? David committed adultery. He was still called the apple of God's eye.
Yeah.
God is one of the 10 commandments is do not commit adultery, right?
Yeah.
So David even recognized in the Psalms when he wrote it was like, I'm a wretched man. I am a filth, and like my heart is crappy. Put a new heart in me, God, because so I don't sin against you because I'm a filthy human.
Yeah.
Right. He even acknowledged that. So like, I think when people say that people are going against actions of Israel, going against actions of any nation that's in the Bible, it doesn't mean that you are necessarily going against God's chosen, but it's you are recognizing a wrong.
Yeah,
right?
that's
or a injustice in a certain capacity.
That's the part about the Bible too. Is like this. I hope that people have the dignity to understand. There's a lot of bad that took place in the Bible in the name of God.
Yeah,
I mean, there just is. There just is. You know,
and in the name of Israel.
So you can believe what you want. You know, but you can't paint the Bible out, or you can't paint any of that out to be good versus evil, because it just wasn't.
Yeah. There's always gray.
Tons of people lost their lives.
Yeah.
And lastly, my thing is that if you are to believe prophecy, then how can you believe free will too, freedom of choice?
What do you mean by that?
Because if prophecies are going to come true, then
God's
you no longer
will
have the
is
choice.
word.
If God's will is the word, then
you don't get a choice
at a certain level. You don't have a choice on how things go.
But prophecy isn't like a control. It's basically saying this is how it's going to play out.
But that is a control by default, right? So you've defined how it's going to play out.
So are psychics not legitimate? Like if they can determine,
you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, I'm asking you because you look at a prophet and a psychic. I don't see a lot of difference other than one says it in the name of God.
Now I will say that there's a lot of mediums or psychics out there that claim don't tell the future, though. Right.
Well,
that's fair.
Well, mediums. So psychics. The definition, psychics tell the future or say this is going to happen, and then sometimes it happens, right?
Oh, I guess
So what would that mean? That
to the
there's
listener,
no free
there
will?
are differences between mediums and psychics. That is true.
Well, yeah. Well, a psychic predicts the future. A medium's more of like speaking to your loved ones. Blah blah blah.
I guess you have the will to get to the end point. For example, if I were to drive to the Wendy's up the street right now, I could go the straight way that we would go. I could go this way in our neighborhood and come back out. I could go down, 5 miles down another road. Like the route that I take to get to the destination could be the free will. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. So, and again, we're getting in deep with this stuff, but this is
that's how we do.
We do this all the time with the podcast, but. So, Judas in the Bible.
Yeah.
Jesus knew right off the bat. But did Judas have a choice? Of course he had a choice.
I mean,
he could have not kissed Jesus's cheek like you were talking about.
Yeah.
He could have not accepted the silver.
Here's my argument though. Is that true? Could he have?
Jesus had to be crucified.
Jesus had to be crucified though. It was Jesus knew that was going to happen.
Even say that, like
Jesus had to be.
He had to be crucified, right? He had to be.
So it was going to happen.
But he still, if you think about it, he still had a choice. Like he still, look at Peter, all of the other disciples, right? They followed Jesus. They had a choice. He said, drop everything, leave your family and follow me, right?
Right.
They did have a choice. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at, he's asked other people to follow him. Mm-hmm. A rich man, he asked, hey, follow me, just sell your possessions and follow me, right?
Right.
And the guy went away sad because he's like, oh shit, I ain't going to do this. I've got too many riches.
I think all of that was going to play out how it's supposed to play out. Is the thing. I don't see, because think about that one instance of Judas, for instance. Fast forward to now our time, and the Bible's been written, and all of these things have happened. Imagine if that piece were not in the Bible. Even if you take it and you read it, and it, to a lot of people, it's metaphorically, your friend is a traitor kind of things, but you should still treat them with like a certain amount of respect. You knew they made an error, but you should still forgive them, right? There's a lesson to be learned out of that. So without that, the lesson was not learned, right? For us, like we wouldn't be able to read that out of the Bible because it wouldn't exist. Therefore, it wouldn't be taught. So I don't know. To me, it goes back to like, again, I think that in a complex way, if it played out how it was supposed to play out, because if it were true and if it happened and then the Bible exists, it would have needed to be put into the Bible for us to learn from, right?
My problem is that people take the Bible and use the lessons that they interpret as a way to dictate how everyone should live, and that.
Well, they cherry pick, and if you're going to believe the Bible, you need to believe it all. Believe all of it.
Yeah, of course. So
I've had people tell me that gay people are sinners while they sit there and eat their Christmas ham, and it's like, well, the Bible says you're not supposed to eat that.
Listen, there's two things that don't get really talked about in the Bible: Enoch and who turns in, Metatron. Metatron's not really spoken that much about, but he was one of the most. No, he was a human, but also one of the most powerful beings next to God. And it's real, right? He was in
the Torah, but not the Bible. Let me look that up.
I don't know. There's
Metatron.
Plenty. Yeah, dude, look him up.
Optimus Prime.
No, his human name was Enoch, and he never died. He never did anything, but God took him to heaven.
Well, in a chariot of fire.
She's in the Hebrew Bible.
And he becomes
Bible.
Metatron out of that. And Metatron is like,
I've never heard of that.
Lilith?
Yeah.
Or Metatron?
No, I never heard of Metatron.
She sounds like a transformer.
I never heard of that.
Yeah,
I've heard of Enoch.
He's in Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, but he's like real out of the Bible too.
Right?
Is he in the Bible?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Like in the early days. Absolutely.
Yeah, our Bible is not what was actually written.
Oh, I know that was the Catholic Church.
He's not mentioned in the Bible.
And
he's in the Talmud, the Kabbalah.
The Talmud. Okay. Well, that has some. That's pretty cool. I need to check that out because I've never.
He's the angelic form of the prophet.
I've heard of Enoch, in the chariot of fire and stuff, but I didn't hear about that.
What you do hear about in our Bible are the two witnesses that are supposed to come back from during like Revelations, right?
Yeah,
it's possible
Elijah or Elisha.
Well, it's possible that it's him and another guy as well. I can't remember who the other human was, but there are two humans in religious history that never died but were taken to heaven.
I thought it was Elisha and Elijah.
It might be.
That.
All right, who are the two?
I have a computer
witnesses
here too.
in Revelations.
Look, she typed
Enoch and Elijah, or Moses and Elijah.
Okay,
Enoch.
Yeah, so Elijah. Moses. So the thing with Moses is it's implied that he died,
right?
Yeah, but God hid his body.
Yeah,
but like you don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever found his
right. Yeah. But let's talk about that. Listen, like there's plenty of people that died out there that will never find their bodies. That I do.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they were all like translated.
Doesn't make them like, they transcended somewhere.
But
do you know something else crazy that's not actually in the Bible? I saw this on TikTok the other day and I've just looked it up. The Bible never calls Mary Magdalene a prostitute or insinuates in any way that she was a prostitute or a sex worker or anything.
No,
she's one of my favorite
just
characters.
She
honestly,
was caught in adultery, is what it does say that in the Bible.
Yeah,
but a lot of people think
she's described as a sinner.
She was a
not a prostitute, but everybody
she was
thinks
a badass though.
She really was. Yeah, and one of the closest people to him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she, I believe it was her that she was the one that washed his feet, basically knew that he was preparing him for his burial. Ultimately, is what it was. She was washing his feet as a symbolic thing. Is like, look, you're worthy of. This is what I'm doing.
That's what's wild to me, dude. It's like the one thing that I feel like
she was a woman, guys.
We should take away from the Bible is how Jesus intently treated people and accepted people, right?
Because if you walk into First Baptist of every town in every country in America, they're going to beat you to death with
we're in the Bible Belt down here. We know it.
Plus, they're anti everything. Everybody's a sinner. Jesus hung out with quote unquote prostitutes.
Yeah, because
and sinners.
And he ate dinner with
vagrants. And if he walked in, a brown-skinned man with long hair wearing a dress and sandals walked into your insert church name here and sat down in the back row, you would be scooting your children away from him.
Well, that's and I've told you before
judging.
that like there's a world out there where we can all like disagree with things, right? But not let that affect how you treat people.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Like, okay, even on the flip side of things, if people of religious faith or the Christians believe that homosexuality is a sin,
and that's okay,
but they say that everything else is a sin, and even if they say that they're a sinner on the same level as the homosexual or whatever, but they still treat everybody, they love everybody. They can keep that to themselves.
Absolutely.
Because they know
you don't have to hate the sin, love the sinner, and announce it.
Yeah, you don't have to verbalize it because if you believe,
sin is greater than the other.
And Jesus said, "Love your enemies." Okay, even if you think that those people are your enemies, love them. Bless those that curse you. Bless those. Yeah. So even with you
don't have to announce.
Even with the Israel, like you can disagree with a lifestyle, right? I disagree with people that go off and do things. When they're in committed relationships or whatever, right?
Right. Of course.
You can disagree with that, but that, I mean, are you
going to sit next to them at an event and say, I could have a conversation with you, but I just need to tell you first that I'm being called to tell you that I know that you cheated on your spouse. And I just want you to know that I think you're wrong. You don't have to say that.
The only, and biblically too, the only one that can convict of sin is the Holy Spirit.
I mean, literally, it's in the 10 Commandments. People do not judge.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, think
so when you do that, that's exactly what you're doing, right?
Taking the Lord's name in vain is a swear word. No, it's using the Bible to bludgeon someone to death.
Absolutely.
It's using the Bible to judge someone else and bludgeon them to death while your own sins are in your
using God's name to validate your actions.
Yeah. And I always say too, like, again, you can disagree with whatever you want and that's fine. That's your prerogative.
Yeah, of course.
My thing is, even in the Bible, it says you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I think a lot of us, we will cast judgment.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when we have a very dirty house.
I think that's everybody,
we need to clean our house and worry about ourselves because ultimately, like, you want, like, if there's an afterlife like that and you want people to go with you. But at the same token, it's like,
it's not up to me if you get into heaven. It's up to me if I do.
You can't decide for them. So why are you dictating how they live their life? Let them live their life. If those things come down the pike and it's something bad, then that's something that individuals have to deal with.
Of course.
Like deal with your own house.
A video of a girl and y'all may have seen it too. She goes into an airport and she sees what she assumes it's an all gender bathroom. And it's just one stall that's got a toilet and a sink. And she announces to the whole terminal that God thinks that is wrong and that God put it on her heart to tell them how wrong it is. And it's like, there are disabled adults who have maybe a man who's with his mother.
When you say God told you to do anything,
multi-gender bathroom that have nothing to do with transgender people existing.
That is using God's name in vain. Right. When you say God told me to do this and I feel like I should do it, whatever the outcome of that means that you are not willing to accept the responsibility. You're trying to blame God.
There are elderly parents who need help from their adult child using the restroom who I'm a father whose daughter is helping me because I can't go myself.
Right.
Which bathroom do they go in if you just have a men's bathroom and a women's bathroom? Does the woman go into the men's bathroom with her elderly father who needs help? Does he go into the women's room with her? Either way, that's a problem. This multi-gender bathroom solves it because it's one room.
And my thing is, if I have to piss, I'm going to piss.
Exactly, dude.
At the end of the day,
I've never felt afraid of a trans woman in the bathroom ever in my life.
Like if I had to make that choice, I would just make that choice and go into, I'd go into a man's bathroom.
There are legitimate
do what
needs.
you got to do with your elderly. If somebody says something about it, I'll handle that when it happens.
People are just weird. And it was the point of the video was she said, God put it on my heart what you want me to do today and who you want me to minister to today. And apparently it was Terminal C in the Chicago airport where she felt she had to tell everyone what an
be very careful.
Yeah, the Bible also says, Lord, Lord, I prophesied in your name. I cast out demons in your name. I healed the sick in your name. And then he says, depart from me. I never knew you too.
Yeah. So exactly.
That can go on a lot of different angles.
And that's kind of like the whole crux of the whole thing, right? Is that like you can't.
Doesn't mean if you're saved enough. It could mean that you're not following.
I don't think anybody is saved enough. Right. Like, that's not a thing.
Well, that's what people think.
Yeah.
Which is I've got to repent daily, blah, blah, blah. Which is, fine if you believe that way. But it could be multiple angles of the thing. Like you're not following what Christ really said to do.
Because the whole argument is, well, first off, Jesus died so that there wouldn't be a scenario like that, right? So that you wouldn't have to. Jesus died because we're all sinful, and this was
and he paid the price once for all,
for everybody. Yeah, that's why I always. It's a joke, but it's not. I always say like Jesus and I are fine. It's his followers that freak me out sometimes because there are diehard
that's everything.
Again,
exactly
those that say Lord, Lord
claim to be his followers, but.
I do want to.
If you sin differently than them, you are.
Listen, I do want to just lay it out there for everybody that like you may not have this opinion about any of this stuff.
Yeah,
that's okay.
No, we are not. I am.
I don't judge you at all. In fact, I love differing opinions because I could be 100% wrong right now saying everything I'm saying.
Studied,
I mean, that's my thing. Like you're asking, so I'm saying, but like most of the time I keep it to myself because I have my own reasons for believing the things that I do, and it's only because of experience that I have had in my own life.
And we've all been raised in different churches with different belief systems. Oh,
absolutely.
So we've all studied the Bible in completely different contexts with different eyes. We are not biblical scholars.
No,
I follow several,
and I'm not telling you to believe, and I'm not telling you that I'm 100% right.
No. None of us are.
I just think if you're gonna look at the Bible, like 1 Corinthians 13, right? It's the love chapter.
Yeah.
It's like love is patient, love is kind, love is long suffering, love doesn't keep records of wrong, blah, blah, blah. Well, and then the Bible also says God is love. Right?
Yeah.
So just replace that word love with God. God is patient. He's kind.
Yeah.
He is gentle. He doesn't keep records of wrong. He doesn't,
No, absolutely.
And then if you're prophesying in terminal C, a different thing than what 1 Corinthians 13 talks about.
Yeah. If your lesson starts with God hates,
you need to check yourself.
You're wrong.
You need to check yourself.
And I never grew up. I was raised Episcopalian. We never had the fire and brimstone.
I grew up in Pentecostal.
We did not.
Yeah,
it was always loving God.
Worse than her. But
I did go to a fundamental Baptist Christian school. And that was the worst experience of my life because they are the most hateful people. Well, not all of you.
Yeah, it's easy to generalize.
That church there was a lot of hate.
Yeah.
There's so much energy behind, especially in the South, behind preaching and such. And like I remember,
we're in the Bible Belt, literally
on behalf of God.
I remember like when I got baptized, I didn't feel. It felt, I don't know, it almost felt disingenuous and almost ritualistic to where like it didn't matter how I felt about it. That
this is just what you do.
You just do it. And that act of it happening was what mattered, not how your intention behind it, which as an adult, I completely disagree with.
And intention is everything. And we preach this all the time.
And listen, it wasn't back then that I went to church more back then than I do now. However, I was a kid, right? And you just kind of sometimes got to give people time. Yeah, but like in reality,
you should have had a choice.
Yeah. You should be able, you shouldn't pressure your kids into getting baptized. Let them work that stuff out for themselves.
And I tell my kids too, it's like, look, I have went from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other. Of course. Do I believe that there's something higher than us? Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't, it would be weird of me to be in the paranormal space in the way that I am and not believe that there's something greater.
Right. But it's those experiences that we've had for being in this field that lead us to that too. It's the only answer.
And am I saying that could the Bible be factual?
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that a lot of things were taken out, to your point.
And it's been rewritten and rewritten.
Well, we know that, right?
I do believe that there's a lot of texts out there that maybe we need to look at as well. To have the whole picture, but we're never going to have the 100% picture because that would be a perfect work. And it's like,
I think, if by default, there wouldn't be all these different religions within Christianity, right? If the Bible was taken exactly as it was, right?
Right. That's
There'd be
true.
no
there
need
wouldn't
for
be
it.
Other interpretations.
Well, maybe, but there's a lot of people out there that will bend whatever they want to fit their narrative, no matter what. Like there's a lot of egotistical people that they'll preach in the name of God, but really they're self-serving.
Of course,
they want to be puffed up to. Well, I'm following this way, and if you don't, then you're going to hell and you're going to burn forever, right? No matter what, I think people are going to bend it to how they want it, and that's just human nature in a way. Which ultimately, I think, and here's what I craft for myself, and I'm not perfect. I fail every day, but I try to follow the teachings of Jesus, and I fail. But I think that won't hurt us if we follow, love your enemies, bless those that curse you. Turn the other cheek when though shit, like if somebody pops me in the face, like I'm probably not going to turn the other cheek.
I'm going to turn the other cheek right around and
I'm not perfect. I'm gonna beat ass is what's going to happen. But
what
kind of to what you're saying, I think that
won't hurt us to follow loving
what
people.
I always say, because I am a major, I try every day to be an ally for the LGBTQIA plus community. I try to care about human beings and not, any rule of this book says this, whatever. My mentality has and will always be, when I get to the gates, God will look into my heart and see it was always love. It was always wanting people to have a good life, wanting them to be happy, wanting them to love who they loved. If I'm wrong, I will answer for that.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
but I don't think I'm wrong because God will look into my heart and see.
And we always talk about intention too, right?
Yeah.
So if your intent is to love people, which again, I fail at this every single day. And even at my past, I was not the most loving person.
Yeah.
I had different viewpoints about things and I regret it.
Yeah.
But as I've grown, like, it's not that hard to love people, even if you don't agree with them. Even if they live a completely different lifestyle as you. All these people, like what is that one church?
Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh my gosh!
God hates is their website.
Those idiots, and they have
God hates.
And I will be
like God hates.
No.
FAGS. Yeah, God hates.
Yeah. They have that domain.
Yes.
What? No.
Yeah,
God's not capable of hate.
They hold up the posters saying that they instigate. And
they went to the Sandy Hook kids' funerals.
Wild, man. That is wild.
No, and the soldiers that fought for us and stuff.
Yeah.
They say that they're
crazy,
going to hell.
Dude. That just means that they have zero alliance or belief to anything.
It's like, no.
It's not hard to love people.
And especially with
if they're gay, they're straight, they're purple,
Right.
whatever, love them.
Dude.
Because at the end of the day, like you were talking about, you're going to only answer for
yourself.
You're going to answer for your reaction or how you treat people.
How you treat
right?
people.
If they're living in a way that's not beneficial and it's wrong, then again, that's their salvation that they have to deal with. But it's not our place to be like, you're wrong, because we all could be wrong.
And there are certain sins you're going to stop. If you walk up on a woman being raped, you're going to stop the rapist. You know, you're going to be like, hey, we're not going to do that. I'm going to knock you out and we're going to jail today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen,
there are actions that you will stop as a decent human, but you don't have to tell someone.
The thing that we have suffered with the most with Beacon TV is seeing like there's been, if you guys knew the way that we've been treated in some scenarios, you guys would be like, why didn't you say something or why didn't you do something? And it's because we have always believed that how we react to things says something about us.
Yeah. And again, in the past, we've reacted in different ways.
Yeah.
But what I think with a lot of people, if you are daily trying to put one foot in front of the other and try to go forward, and even if you get knocked back a few pegs every single time, as long as you're trying to do the right thing and you're trying to treat people in the way that they should be treated, then you're on the right path. It may take you a little longer than other people.
Yeah.
And, a lot of that is not solely your fault. A lot of it is your upbringing, that you were indoctrinated in a certain way.
I'm learning that now, more than ever. And that's not to say that I had a bad upbringing, because there are a lot of really good pieces about it. And my parents, suffered a lot to give me a lot that people didn't get,
Yeah.
But then there's other portions that don't.
Religious trauma.
There is.
That comes with that.
Yeah. And I was brought up to believe that homosexuality is wrong and all of this.
Yeah, me too,
And
right?
you know what's crazy about that?
What?
The word homosexuality was not translated in the Bible until 1946.
Oh,
it was little boys. Like, do not lay with children.
Yeah.
It was to keep the priests away from the little kids.
Yeah, I know. But, and that's not to say the people that were teaching me at the time, they honestly, and they were like, love people, but they were saying in the Bible, this is what it says, right?
Love people, but
but there's conditions.
And my mom even said that at one time, but my mom has changed course in a lot of ways.
Good.
And it's one of those things where it's like, look, you may have had a certain upbringing, but it's okay to learn and grow from it. Because from that upbringing, whenever I was younger, a lot of my actions were not good. It's like I thought that it was a sin. I thought it was wrong.
Exactly.
And it was a bad thing.
Like,
the thing
it doesn't matter to me.
I don't
care what you do. My thing is always, if everybody consents and everybody's an adult, I don't care what you do.
Is there a dog snoring or something over here? I'm hearing.
Aww.
Dude, he's a snorer.
Yeah. But like, why does it matter to someone what other people do with their lives?
And again, if they're on a fast track to hell, and it is true, my job is to do my best to care for and love people.
I mean,
not to change.
Do we really think that
I can't. I'm
hate
not God.
towards it is going to change it for anybody? Absolutely
Making someone's
not.
life harder.
Well, here's my thing. Whenever my parents told me to do something I didn't really like, and they were like, look, you need to stop or else, I went in the opposite direction and rebelled, because I was like, screw you. You're not going to tell me what to do. I know what's best. Yeah. The action is you love people. Whenever you answer for that, you're going to be looked at.
They are not going to be there when you answer for that.
Yeah. You're going to be like, okay, well,
this is why
Terminal C in the Chicago airport is not going to be there when you are in front of God at the end of your life.
No, and they're probably they're probably gonna be turned away and like I never knew you.
Yeah,
like,
you
said
preaching
all
and
of this
screaming in an airport.
Yeah,
in my name, being hateful.
Yeah, I mean,
she also had a video where she went up to an unhoused woman and she's offering her food, and the woman is like, "Why are you filming? I haven't given you permission to film me. Please don't film me. Like, I'm in a vulnerable state." She doesn't have a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the woman, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just going around ministering. And then she turns the camera back on her again. And the woman was like, but I'm asking you not to film me. Please don't film me. Like, are you here to help me or are you here to perform? And she turns the camera on her several more times, walks away screaming, God loves you anyways. God loves you. God bless you.
It's performative.
Oh, of course.
Performative. And then still posted it on the internet.
Well, guess what? That's modern day Pharisee. Yeah. Because Pharisees in the Bible did the same thing. They prayed out in public. And Jesus was the one that was like, look, if you're going to pray, go to your secret place. And pray. Don't be performative. Yeah. And that's what he was talking about. Yeah. And really, there's a lot of modern day Pharisees that say that they're following the law of God. Yeah. But they're not following his words.
I believe that you can pray internally. Like, you don't even have to outwardly say it. I think that you can think it.
Yeah. So anyway, we went off on a.
We got one more thing to talk about, though. Speaking of you released a book.
Oh yeah.
We haven't talked about it. I have read it. I have not written my review yet, but I did read it. It was good.
Well, thank
very
you.
Moving.
It was one of the hardest things to do because it's talking about
there's a lot of stuff in there.
There's a lot of Trump,
traumatic, crappy stuff. And Josh, a lot of it.
Yeah, I think in a good way though, man. I think you being able to do it is probably going to help you process a lot of things. I know that there's and I won't, you're
going to have to read
talk
the book
a ton, but there's a bunch. We just said it about our upbringings that it doesn't even matter. Obviously, there's things that happen to you. You can read the book, and it is, a lot of people,
unfair.
I've heard have cried just reading the stuff.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened to me and vice versa. Right. But there are things that I think as you grow that you are trying to you're trying to unpack your history, right? A bit. And I think this will be good for it. So.
Yeah. And really, so I went into it because, I've had financial troubles and stuff like we all have, but I went into it I don't really care.
Yeah.
I had people say you can charge $25, whatever. I was like, I'm trying to make it affordable. And then I was like, even if a couple people bought it, it's fine. And then I even told people Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free and read it. I'm at the point now, with this story is if it helps somebody, and
of course,
it's fine.
So let me go incoherent fangirl for a minute. Give us the elevator pitch of the book, though. Tell the listeners who may not have heard about it yet. You are on an elevator with someone, and you got 30 seconds to tell them what your book is about. And they don't know you from TV.
On the spot.
That's a lot. So it's a story of my childhood trauma leading up to paranormal experiences that saved my life, basically. I was wanting to end my life multiple times, and every time paranormal occurrences happened that stopped it. You can call it God, whatever. Right. But something said, no, you're not going to do it. And that's kind of what led to the path of where I'm at today. Right. So that's basically, that's a very condensed version. But it's if you feel like you don't have hope, it's that feeling's a lie because there is hope. Yeah.
And we speak about that stuff too when we're out on the road.
Oh yeah, shoot, all the time. We preach way too much when we're on these things, but it's, you may feel like ending it. You may feel like your life is too hard right now, but it's there's hope.
Yeah,
I know because I've lived it.
A big thing for me is that I feel like a lot of times I lack purpose in things, and it's something that I have to personally sort through for myself. And so, we're not always sunshine and roses, but
no. But even with you, man, dude, I've seen. I've seen those dark moments, but dude, you look at all of the stuff you've accomplished so far. Look at that tongue, man. Every time I see that tongue, I was
and these socks.
Oh my gosh.
He's got knee injuries or not knee injuries. He's got bad knees now. So the grippy socks help him.
Look at those socks. We all have a purpose. And it's okay if you don't know what it is right now. again, like I was saying, if you move one foot in front of the other, you're doing what you need to do, and things will happen how they need to happen.
I don't know, man. A lot of times, we make these decisions, and especially in business and stuff, and like we have this picturesque.
You want instant gratification.
It isn't even that. Like, we absolutely believe in the work. I don't believe in instant gratification on anything. No, but you want to.
I want instant gratification.
Exactly. Like it's human.
Like,
to
if there's anything my life has taught me is that
I planted the seed. Where's my flower?
How to believe in that? That just ain't it. But you do hope that you put in the work a certain way that it turns out at least a fraction of where it is.
And it has. Look at whenever we travel places, look at the people that are impacted.
I know.
And even if it's one person that is impacted true. When we go to these things, that's enough.
And that's enough. That's the thing that I'm trying to really get back to, is to understand that I got to get away from maybe what my expectations of things were sometimes based on the work. We don't get to define necessarily the result to its fullest.
We just do. We put 100% in, and then however it unfolds, it unfolds.
It unfolds. Yeah. But if you keep, beating yourself up about it too, like, it's not going to make you grow anymore.
No, and those are lies too. We are our worst.
It's bad.
Enemy sometimes when it comes to that stuff.
But a lot of it, dude, it's guilt, right? Because like there are people, like, especially with our companies and then traveling, like, that count on us for different things, and why. So, like, just trying to make it all work in a way that makes sense. But
that's a misplaced emotion. It's not guilt, because guilt is you feeling bad for doing something wrong. But if that's the thing is, like, you feel like you've let somebody down.
Have you heard of my own worst enemy?
Right.
Oh, I know.
But if you didn't do wrong, that's not guilt. That's just like you're wanting.
But in my head, it is wrong, right? In my head, it's like, well, I feel like I'm failing. I made this decision, or I thought an outcome was going to come out of something that just didn't really pan out. Therefore, that's my fault, and it's on me. And it's like, well, my intentions were where they needed to be, but that's just the way things happen.
In a sense, in a certain sense, it's healthy to take responsibility for everything when it comes to that.
I mean,
stuff.
I think because you have to, right?
Because failure, we always look at failure as like, oh man, but how many times have we failed in our pursuit of even where Beacon is,
bro?
If we didn't
all the time,
didn't have those failures, Beacon wouldn't be here.
Exactly. Sometimes the failure is what you
and you do learn. I mean,
my book wouldn't be here.
I will say that we absolutely do take it, especially like the big failures. We do take them to heart and know it moving forward, right? And
sometimes those things that you thought you wanted were not what was meant for you.
Yeah.
Whether they were prophesied for you.
We see a lot of that too, right? And because, part of Beacon is we do try to take a certain amount of risk, because we believe that there's, without it, there's no reward on that. And that's what will cause us to be different in the long run. A lot of those risks do not hit the mark, actually. And sometimes
because we're not perfect, man. And I think we put standards out there where
we try to be.
We elevate it we want it to be that. But dude, at the end of the day, like, small wins are wins. So.
Oh, absolutely. And like, that's my point.
And this is something I'm learning, because, dude, you know how I am with myself too. Like, me and you are a lot alike.
I mean, we were just looking at a simple video clip yesterday, and I'm like, I don't even know how to feel about it anymore, because
it's like, something doesn't feel right. It's like it's close, but we're.
But also, constantly. I can admit to the idea now that, like, we're obviously too far in the weeds with looking at it,
and it's because I'm like, this is great, or I'll be like, this is the one little thing, this one little tweak.
Yeah, like, I know that I always say, well, Mandy looked at it, but when I do that, I'm doing it not because I want her to be on my side, because I know she won't be. She'll say she has always been
the truth.
Independent in how she feels. If anybody knows us, we'll know that.
I will tell Josh he is wrong.
Also, if you,
but I'll tell you when you're right. Too,
if you stick around and you know Mandy, you also know that her, underneath all of her feelings and her energy it is true that she wants, she just wants everybody the good in everybody, right? Mm-hmm. She wants good things for everyone, everybody. Right? And
I want the best for Beacon. Like, even without trust me, my future also having a stake in it.
Like she'll probably beat me over the head later about the idea, like even politically, like she's way more like outgoing outspoken. in her beliefs politically than I ever will be, right? Because I just don't. I'm very more like
I feel I have about that. Nieces and nephews that I feel like I have skin in the game.
Of course.
And I feel like they are not old enough to vote and get loud, but I am.
It's not that I don't
for the future I want
like
for them.
I have skin in the game for them too, but for me, it's about how my actions are.
And I understand that people who vote differently than I do and feel differently than I do also feel that they have skin in the game for the children in their lives.
Remembered, right?
But I'm just more loud.
It's tough. It's a tough world to navigate there because
in my life.
The thing that I do know is that like against all of that, like I know Mandy, so I know the only reason that she believes something to the way that she believes it is because she would always give someone else before she gave of herself, like gave for herself. So whatever it is comes with good intention. Right. And I think that's really the best thing you could ask for anything really.
A friend of mine once said, like, you have very weird morals. She was like, you don't really care about like written law as far as like your speed, like whatever, but they like if the things that you believe, you are fierce and you are not changing.
Well, that's the thing. I think
and
they're
it's
all
a very
like core
strict
values.
Moral code.
Yeah, it's not about like
unwavering on
speeding or not speeding or stuff like that. It's about morality and like how you treat people, humanity. That's what it's really about.
That was a whole tangent. But really was. You do show me like random things because you have looked at it 500 times, and I'm like, you guys are really overthinking this.
I have her look at it because if I'm not showing it to you, who else am I going to show it to? That's going to be kind of.
And dude, I'm hard on all of this stuff too. Yeah. I know sometimes with Josh, even with stuff he edits, he's a great editor. Sometimes I'm like, well, this feels kind of.
I do it too.
Hang on, man. That Paranormal Mysteries trailer was brutal for me because it was just so.
But it was great.
It was
great.
But then I nitpick little things that not because I'm trying to nitpick, but I'm like, I hate the font choice. And he's like, why? And I'm like, it just is not it. But then at the end result.
Yeah, but like in editing, it's so good.
Editing sucks.
It sucks because there's so many hours. I cannot make you guys understand.
They're not to the level of an episode, but I used to edit weddings for us. And like when you would come in and be like, I'm going to tweak this, and this, it was like.
There are so many perspectives of things that have to be considered.
Oh, yeah. And you know that boxing clip that I did? It took me, so it was a minute. It was not even a minute, like maybe 50 something seconds. And it took me over 18 hours, I think, to do.
There's like a lot of work
think that it's like, and that was for practice. Drag and drop. And it's like, no, that's not what it is.
Not if you want it to be good, because you have to think about the cadence of the
pacing, the story.
What is it hitting the sound
audio,
effects,
the sound effects, the title cards,
and every movement on that clip. If it doesn't have a sound effect to it, there's something missing. Yeah, like every movement, like there's gotta there. Yeah, it's a big. It's a big deal.
Have you teased any like clips from Brichelle yet?
No, but like
because there's one where it's like
I did. I did just recently.
If I hear. It's Brenton Lodge. Have you heard of it? One more time, I'm going to jump off of my roof because it's just
it sounds
like people who are not from like an editing background or in an editing home or whatever. You hear the same clip 500 times. It's the same sentence, and then you go on to the next one. And
you have it looped. You have it looped.
Well, no, it's just I'm trying to fix something, right? And it a lot of times it's like,
why did you say it like? Why did I say it like that?
You know, is a challenge. At all.
You know what you need? Headphones, dude. So that way you don't hear it.
But then like it never sounds right in headphones either. So like,
and then he'll have the laptop, the TV going. I'm trying to read, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get in the bed. Oh, why? We were hanging out, and it's like because I am so overstimulated.
So I'm refreshing myself with editing again. I'm gonna be jumping in and helping because I know I'll
tell you this: the Brichelle
I've offered to
the Brichelle stuff. The audio has really sucked. Like it's all good and it's fine.
and we're learning season 2 stuff. Stuff that we've learned a lot.
I've already even told Brian and Rochelle.
Nothing I've said is any shade to them. By the way,
it all looks great.
Everything I've said,
like me saying like at all, or it's Britton Lodge. Have you heard of that place? It's not that the sentence
itself.
They're not going to
listen to our podcast.
They're not annoying. I don't want anybody to say like she was
Brian,
saying
this is a test. If you listen to this podcast, not at all
annoyed
you got to chime
by
in.
them or anything they were saying or the way they said it, but you hear the same sentence 500
if Brian makes it through, if Brian and Rochelle make it through all of the biblical shit we were talking about, then that is a big testament. If anybody listens to all of the biblical shit.
Chris Borman is still here.
Yeah, that is true.
Hi, Chris. But yeah, it's not that. It's that I will have the full script of every episode of Adventures with Rochelle right now in my head. I'll be able to recite it by the end of it.
Oh yeah. But you know what I'm excited about though, honestly. So Beacon, I know we've beaten this horse, but Beacon TV is so special to us.
Yeah, dude.
And even the editing, even though it sucks, like we are legitimately working with some of the best people out there.
Oh, dude. And then like, listen, at the end of the day, once it's all cut together, I think I feel like more satisfied now with the stuff that I put out than I ever have. And I know I'm my own worst critic and I always will be. And same for you, right? But
if the creators that are working on it like it and they love it, that's all that matters too.
Yeah. And I think, listen, there's lessons to be learned every time you complete a project.
We can always get better.
And I know that. Like, dude, it's night and day.
You guys are going to look back at season 1 Beacon 10 years from now and be like, oh my God, we were trash.
Listen,
and you're not.
You know what else is going to be cool?
Things improve. Technology improves.
Yeah. A few years from now, it's going to be great when me and Josh are sitting behind monitors and letting somebody do all of this.
Who's going to edit this?
No offense. I mean, we love being in the trenches and we will still be in the trenches.
Absolutely.
But
you'll be able to be selective.
I would love to hire teams. Yeah, we can oversee the story and kind of focus on what we're really good at with the creative part of things.
Yeah.
And you're great with camera.
Of course.
I'm not saying you're not.
No,
I'm saying I think that is
bring on talent to the level of expectation that y'all have and the level of skill that y'all expect while also understanding.
Listen, Adventures with Rochelle. We were out for 5 days nonstop filming. Okay.
Yeah.
Nonstop. If we can have a team do that and we just
fill the gaps
on creative, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a lot better.
Happen.
You know, Angus,
we're manifesting
I don't want to leave him without talking about the fact that Angus, is like insane on set. Like he puts a ton of work in.
He works hard and doesn't ask for anything.
Yeah.
So
shout out.
Yeah. And I do want to mention too, like well wishes to Mike Galliano.
Oh my gosh, yes.
He had a whole scooter, which of course it's a scooter. Right? I mean, sorry. Look, Mike, I know you'll appreciate, but yeah, Absolutely. Of course it was a fucking scooter.
I know we talked about like they had scooter rentals on Jekyll, and I was like, Gagliano would kill us.
I have heard that his
or no, we talked about
his
bringing
wife has
the
said
scooters.
That he doesn't want anything to do with a scooter anymore.
Yeah, However, we have the Beacon scooters that he'd gotten, and I joked about bringing those, and I was like, no, he would get us.
Can you imagine if it was me on that scooter?
Oh, dude, you'd be done.
It'd be like
I haven't seen the photos, memorial. But
yeah, I don't want to.
Micah said that he's seen some of the stuff, and he was like, dude, I don't know how I'm alive.
Yeah. So
all from a scooter too.
Yeah, so
it hit the back, like he landed, and apparently it hit.
He hit some like crack or something in the road. Yeah, and he flipped over, and I guess it like
the scooter itself
in his skull in the back
as he's already on concrete.
Yeah. And
so
where
he was curb stomped by the scooter.
Yeah, by the scooter. Yeah. Literally, dude.
Guys, that is not funny. I don't know why y'all are laughing.
I mean, listen, Mike would be laughing too.
It's not funny, but it's almost like God's like, I'm going to really have some fun right now.
You know.
We are so glad
I hear
he's
that
okay.
if it were like an inch either other way, he would not be here with us.
Yeah, we're so glad he is still here.
And Galliano, too, you irritate the living shit out of me sometimes. We irritate each other, but I love you, man, and I'm glad that you're here and you're okay.
Very glad.
And now he's back to social media and he's selling little nut sacks. He's like, buy my small nut sack.
Somebody said they look smooth or something.
Oh God, here we go. On that note, but thank y'all for listening to the Searchers podcast. We really do love and appreciate y'all. And sorry we get long winded with this stuff, but this is our show. Like we go down rabbit holes
all the time.
Some people
man.
like a long podcast.
I think it's
episode.
important. I think details are important sometimes.
Yeah.
And we weren't preaching to y'all. We were just it's the prophecy stuff always fascinates me.
Oh, yeah, me
and
too.
I'm making videos on other prophecies that were kind of cool that were not like biblical in nature. So I just think any of that stuff is paranormal because if you think about
absolutely,
it's out of the
you can't make
and
you can't
read
explain
into it for yourself.
Yeah, read it, and you may have a different interpretation. You may think I'm full of shit.
I hope honestly that
if
you get anything from the podcast on any episode that we do, it's perspective.
Question everything.
That's it.
And we're not pushing a narrative on you guys.
Absolutely not.
We're not perfect, but we do love and appreciate every single person out there. It doesn't matter what background, what orientation, whatever. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We appreciate you supporting us.
Yeah.
And until the next episode.
We made it through a whole Searchers episode without Josh using a single sound effect. Bye.
Oh, yes.
See you guys.